We're about to get underway. Triple header from Mount Smart Stadium. Thanks for tuning in. The league is back. And so are we here on your behalf. Calling the action of NYC round one. It's the Warriors and the Knights. And Jordan Pinnock gets the first touch of the ball and takes it out to midway between the 20 and 30. Some fine players here for the Anganofo. Will play the ball back to Chris Seal, who proved his worth late last year, and the team failed to make the 8. But Chris Seal tried hard, used that prop sometimes, and he's a deft distributor. And we see the Warriors making some good inroads early on too. And 38 metres out, they'll play the ball centre field with a good showing here with their first touch of the ball.
Lust, clear now. Straight up, Marcus.
This young man is Sonia Hufanga. He was with the Knights and came home over the summer. Enjoyed being home. And the connections from the Warriors want to acknowledge the Knights allowing him to stay, really. They didn't have to clear him for this game, but they have.
Yeah, they have. And what a great set for the Warriors. Perfect. Driving through the middle, there's real intent in the way they played. I like the fact that they went to the edges and explored the edges. Haven't seen that in a while for the Warriors, particularly last season. But it looks simple and it looks very effective.
I'm looking forward to seeing the work of Eden Ackland. He put some shows on of nice touches, and obviously coming from a very well-known rugby league family. But he needs some protection too. He's only of a slight build, plenty of ticker and heart, but he just looks a little bit frail at times, and it's up to his bigger men to do the work and protect him, really, is what I'm getting at here. As we see Newcastle with the ball on the far side of the field and pushing their way forward to the 40-metre line. It's very hard to get a gauge on where these young teams are at until perhaps 3 or 4 weeks into the season, Rich.
Yeah, I agree, and there's another off-season under your belt. We talk about players who are going to make an impact, and Kane Talia is certainly one of those players. Another year under the belt, and some have had also a full off-season with the NRL, like Chanel Harris-Tavita. Apparently he's had a great off-season. A good young kid with a lot of ability, but an off-season under your belt makes a world of difference in terms of your confidence.
He's had a haircut too across the summer by the looks of things. As Pinnock says, well, my turn again. A big Cody, isn't he?
Well, he still holds the record for the shot put and the discus. I think it was about 4 years ago, and that is still held today in the South Island. So he is an athlete.
We want to acknowledge our viewership too down in the wonderful West Coast, provided such great talent to New Zealand rugby league teams in years gone by, and here's another chance to celebrate the emergence of another top gun too, Jordan Pinnock. Although you don't want to put too much pressure on a young bloke's shoulders too early, but he's here and there's a chance to put his hand up, show what he's got to offer. Newcastle pushing their way forward. Interesting here at Mount Smart Stadium, got this magic new replay screen for all of the viewers, and we can pick up on the action. And for us from the Western stand broadcasting team, they've put an electronic clock as well on the Eastern stand, so everyone's able to see exactly what the time is, what the score is, and where the action is too, with the great new stand and a big display screen up on the northern slopes.
For the members, they'd be obviously so happy to come here. There's been some subtle changes to Mount Smart over the years, just with branding, and of course the screen, as you mentioned before, Dale. So there's real value for the membership at the moment, and all they need now is success, just to top it off.
So Lockery and Johns are the combinations being spoken of glowingly. This is the former Lockley. He's gone to put that ball away, but he loses control of it, and 6 to go. So Newcastle well poised here, 15 metres out from the try line. And from the Coal City, now just 5 metres out from the try line, Tom Starling. In fact, it's Lockery will go into dummy half. He'll peel it across to the right-hand side. Newcastle looking to try and split their way through Sam McIntyre. He's pulled down a couple short of the try line. So it's Johns now and Cameron King. Pinnock comes in on King. Shane Hannum as well. Pinnock working hard. It's Starling now from dummy half. Lockery, beautiful shuffle on, and that ball has gone to ground. It's been lost. So the Warriors were up quickly outside to Edward Vaomulitalo, a new name for this NYC squad. and connections to King's College first 15 from all accounts. Young Edward, a very good, focused individual. Wasn't the coach's choice during exams because he was concentrating hard on his schoolwork, and I think that that's right. But as soon as the exams are over, Coach Pocklington said he really ripped into training. He's been very impressed since.
Well, that was a lovely sleight of hands there from Matt Cooper, the fullback for the Knights, chiming into the line, just tapping that ball onto the edges, and you just saw the Warriors' defence, particularly Maleno Whinianganofo, who flew out from his right centre, tried to stop the play. There could have been a real good option there for the Knights to score on the left-hand channel, but the last pass went astray.
The Warriors have the football now 20 metres out from their own line, and the Newcastle boys lift and throw. Good settling run here from Kinesi. He's been one of the standouts for the squad over the past 12 months. The back rower with another touch of the football. Ably put away by the second rower McIntyre. It's been a fairly dry period in Auckland. The odd shower, but not enough to slick up the surface. It's in top condition for today's triple header. As mentioned in the build-up to the fact that the Warriors have 5 of 6 games in New Zealand. One of them is in Hamilton, not too far away, but it's a wonderful opportunity for them to get some runs on the board, so to speak, early on in the season.
Yeah, that was a good end to the set there. Chanel, left foot kicker on the left channel. Nice little kick through there just to settle things down for the Warriors, reset their defensive line. It's going to be a real challenge here for Newcastle to really bowl through that middle. It's nice to see a bit of attacking awareness at the other ends. First time they've actually got into the opposition half. But it's really up to the experience of Cameron King and Jaden Butterfield really to really aim up and get through. The outside backs need to get in there with a bit of footwork and try and get on the front foot.
Well, the names Cameron King and Zach Hosking, Jaden Butterfield and Conor Gudgeon, these are names that really the responsibility is falling on them for Newcastle. They're the most experienced in the squad, as we see an up and go, but pulled back here.
Nice little work there. Good awareness too from Cameron King, just coming out dummy half, eyes up. Managed to slice through and open it up. They had to be called back.
And Jack Johns, you'd think he'd have the pedigree, genealogy, obviously, as a footballer. It's great to see some of these young players and familiar names, family names, emerging as well. There's a great deal of pride with the dads of these young guys as they make inroads to professional careers. Newcastle still have the football. And Eden Ackland is all over the tackle to play out here right on halfway, but they shuffle quickly down the left-hand side. They kick to the back. And a poor field, the ball is still okay. Picked up in try time by the looks of things. So very close. What a tackle. Can the Warriors survive? And 10 minutes in the bin. You look at Whinianganofo and say that you've curtailed the opportunity of your opponents to get up and go quickly. So he'll spend 10 in the bin.
Okay, the penalty's just with you, Chris.
Yes. Mark's in line with me.
Maletalo, what a tackle. A scrambled tackle. He was so close to scoring that try, but it was desperation from the Warriors player to come up with a perfect tackle.
So Musgrove puts it out to the western touchline. Newcastle fancying their chances. Penn sends it on, and here is King. To ground now, only a few metres from the try line. Dummy half work for Starling. They look out the back. Lockery and Johns looking for the runners on the outside too, but the Warriors shore up the D. Hufanga comes across the top. Starling flicks it out the back, still alive. Johns out to Cooper. Cooper steps, he'll straighten here. Cooper can see the line and he's through. Matt Cooper to score. Newcastle start the scoreboard ticking over.
Well, a bit of luck's going their way for Newcastle, but Matt Cooper's been prominent for the Newcastle Knights. The defensive line dropped back, and I thought that was the fault that allowed the try and space and time for Matt Cooper really to have a look up and see where he can slice through. Aidan Ackland dropping back instead of moving up and on the defensive line, and that gave him a lot of time to really summarise the situation up. It was a bad mistake there from Kane Talia. You would never see that often. So close to scoring on that occasion. And this is the set piece here. A rush up from the Warriors side. There's a bit short on the right-hand side, but look at the defence of the Warriors coming back instead of moving up. It allowed a lot of time for Matt Cooper to come through. An easy try, but he's been influential so far.
And Chris Seal normally would make those tackles. Just caught him on the cover defence. Cooper's a slippery character, slides underneath the Seal tackle. And was able to get away from Aidan Ackland, who was in close range. Good start for Newcastle, 10 minutes in, one try, Matt Cooper. And looking to convert it. Kane Gudgeon. Flags are up, good start for the Novocastrians. Early days yet for the Warriors. A couple of little errors. They didn't need a second invitation, the visitors from Newcastle.
Yeah, well, possession certainly in favour of Newcastle, 68-32.
Number 7, guys.
That's the issue at the moment, and they've come up with a couple of lucky occasions where the ball has been given back to the Newcastle Knights and they're able to have repeat sets. So, and they've really capitalised. I like their structure and the way they're playing at the moment. They're trying to offload, particularly in between the new halves, and Johns and Lockery.
Well, that's a terrific kickoff, perfect. In fact,
Okay, I'll take the scoop.
get some pressure on at the back. That happens in rugby league, though. This is Dean Coker-Smith. Played some of his footy out West Auckland. Pretty decent effort, which you don't really expect, though, from Coker-Smith.
Not if he's on. I'll have to count your backs.
And we have 12 minutes gone.
I'll have to count your backs, mate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah, you're okay at the moment. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Hold the line,
5, 6,
Newcastle.
7.
White
Scrapping young men, 6'1", 6'2". Got some giants coming in too. Some waiting on the bench. And Harvey Tupuniua. With Dylan Tavita and Poirot and Mamia on the bench for the Warriors. Speaking of which, it's they who have the football, and they're close here now with a big chance. 8 metres out from the try line. Chris Seal weighs up his options, looking for the double around on Pinnock. Does that effectively. Harris Tavita finds Kane Talia, who hits the line at pace. That ball's gone down and deemed to have gone forward as well. So a little mistake in Kane Talia, maybe just some early nerves, because we know he's a classy act. At the moment, he's dropped the ball and perhaps a misdirected pass there as well.
We are here, boys.
Yeah, sometimes when you have your first game, you get excited and your heart rate's up high and these opportunities and you just want to pass the ball and get things moving, but patience is so critical when your first game up. Just to get yourself into the game, get them some rhythm, settle into a pattern. They can ill afford to make mistakes against this Newcastle side, particularly when you get in their half. They had a good opportunity actually to capitalise on a great kick.
And of course, the top side coming up later. ISP action as well. A big triple header here from Mount Smart. And a distinctly New Zealand flavour to the New Zealand Warriors today as we look at a back line for Stephen Kearney. All homegrown talent. And that's a beautiful ball out wide here. And with it is Mitchell Andrews.
Release.
So Andrews is 10 metres in from the western touchline as Newcastle issue a few challenges and ask some questions of the Warriors' defence. They've got an opportunity down the right edge too, and what a run it is for Newcastle. Brilliant play, and Dean Coker-Smith finishes it off for Newcastle in the corner.
Great shape from Newcastle again. The edges of for the Warriors, making some decisions that probably Pilkington wouldn't be happy about. But Newcastle Knights, they're able to have great shape and move that ball around and get to the edges and expose the edge defence of the Warriors. It's a very impressive start for Newcastle. You can see here the ball movement is sharp. Just get to the edges. You can see there they're short on the left-hand side for the Warriors. The winger comes up and it provides an opportunity for Coker-Smith, who was here with the Warriors. What a sharp try and a very good start for the Newcastle Knights.
I'm really liking the way Newcastle are giving the ball some width. They're trusting each other to get around the outside, and Coker-Smith could see the camera. It's a lovely finish for the youngster as well. He peels back the meters here.
What about him, sorry?
And the copybook.
Okay, so.
try here for Newcastle. Celebrating. Long way to go in this game, though. Let's have a look at some of the stats at the moment. 9 missed tackles for the Warriors and 3 line breaks for the Novocastrians. So there is the genesis of their issues at the moment. 4 offloads as well for Newcastle. So a willingness to let the ball do the work.
Yeah, they're certainly finding their rhythm, isn't it, Newcastle? They've come here on an away trip, performing extremely well. And a kick just missing, but what a start. Really impressed with Jack Johns and Lockery, and you've got the experience of Tom Starling in there, and I just think their spine at the moment is really making the difference and being hugely influential.
Got some wheels as well. They really trust themselves. Some fleet-footed individuals have come to town.
Well, they just need to keep it simple, isn't it, the Warriors? You know, with the possession stakes well in favour of Newcastle, they've just got to get themselves into the game. They've got to lay that platform and show some patience.
Well, we're used to seeing plenty of points scored in NYC. It's, young guys, often hot on attack, but it takes a little bit of time to learn how to grind away in defence. So sometimes we can see some really big score lines in NYC. Not always, though. What you won yesterday, I think it was about a 12-10 result. I can't remember which game. So much football on this weekend, and great to know that there's I think it's a 24-hour league channel with Fox now across the Tasman as well, Rich.
Yeah, there's a lot of football over there. There's a lot of football and a lot of shows that are giving the game more airtime. The product last season was great. I love the NYC final last season with the Roosters again.
Here's a hole, and through the middle goes Starling. Now Starling set the ball along. Look at this one. I think that was bounced, and so does the referee knock on as well. But gee, the Warriors are leaving themselves open.
Well, it's not basketball. He nearly got it down, but what an injection. Tom Starling, just his awareness around that ruck. Look at that. He shapes up. He looks to the left-hand side. And look at that, just so close. They're just making the most of their opportunities, but they're just playing football.
How good's the technology now, and you can freeze frame and get these beautiful images of sport in ways that, well, 20 years ago you could only dream of, really. But digital technology allows us to really get in close and slow and see how things work. It's remarkable.
Just on the mark.
Do you remember trading videotapes and, you know, of those classic NRL games,
Cup.
The Winfield Cup and stuff, you know?
I used to buy that every weekend to watch the whole roundup of the Winfield Cup as it was back then.
Of course, got a wonderful new app too, Sky Highlights, which is
well, it sounds like a great app
now.
Some highlights, so get out there and watch it. Download the app and watch some more football, all sport in general.
Oh, you can watch it in your sleep.
Hands off the ball.
10, out of there.
Make it. Go 3.
Here's Chris Seal. And Pinnock now. He's down 5 metres from the try line. This is the chance the Warriors have been waiting for. Here's the penalty.
I think they should have played the advantage there. They had an opportunity on the left-hand side. You see Chanel working his magic. He's talking on the left edge, just demanding that ball. But a penalty slowed that down considerably.
Go together now.
I always think there should be a sin bin offence.
Hold, go 1.
So Seal now finishing an awful.
Hands away now.
He is the man who spent 10 in the bin for a professional foul. This is opening up a little nicer for the Warriors as Harris Tavita gets very close, but he's 2 sorted and a desperate tackle as well. Pulivea makes the tackle, but they won't be able to stop Kinesi. Strong close to the uprights, and he came barreling through. No one was going to halt his run.
You can't hold on to him.
Good reply. A penalty slowed the play of the ball down. And then you got Kinesi so close to the line, a big body. And Michael Seo there, a nice little ball. With that size, Kinesi is going to be difficult to stop. There are a lot of players around to stop. Their body language too high. They should have got down low when you've got a rampaging Kinesi close to the line.
How are we, touches?
He's looking good too, Kinesi. He was a very strong contributor to last year's campaign. We had a disappointing campaign. The Warriors failing to make the 8, as we know.
We played 23 games last season, so there's a lot of football under his belt. Chris Seo, what a stellar season he had last year. He played nearly every position. He was the NYC Player of the Year.
And thoroughly deserving too, Chris. His versatility was noted. The conversion, as expected, is good from Talia. 10-6 scoreline at the moment. There's the big screen we were talking about. New addition to Mount Smart. And watch the power on the run at close quarters.
You need to be able
Just ran at the gap. Solid stuff. Plenty of football on one of my mates, actually. His wife said she's had her guts full of him and she's leaving him because she thinks that he thinks more of rugby league than her. And he says, I can't understand that. We've been together 10 seasons.
Well, that's the same with golfing partners, isn't it? Except you're out a lot longer.
Plenty of football. Plenty of football on screen. And glad to be bringing in some of the action too here on Sky from Mount Smart. If the try score again, just trying to power his way forward. A good run from Kinesi. Makes an extra 10 metres while others are milling around.
Hold. Go 3.
So playing this man from the back row.
Certainly Hufunga, I think he's played extremely well. Some really good carries, running with intent when they really need it most, the Warriors. So he's St Paul's, played for the Knights 2015.
Harris DeVita, that left foot now. He's trying to put it into the slot. The tap back is more a tap forward.
We've kicked it dead, so we're going handover in field. All yours now, Chris. Handovers here, guys. Kicked dead by Newcastle. Marcus will be in it, boys.
It's looked like so far. 23 minutes gone here in the first half. The attitude on display here from both squads.
That was a good kick from Chanel, right to the corner. I just saw Samir should have probably taken the ball instead of trying to tap it back. It was right in goal. It was a great opportunity to really get himself up there and show his aerial ability.
Well, one thing's for sure, they don't need to look far, these players, do they, to see pathways. I mean, just look at that top side and the youthfulness of it that Stephen Kearney is putting out. A little late, well, an offload, but it went to ground. Hint of it going forward. Play on, though, says the referee. Well, that's okay. Nice little run here. Tom Starling's been very good.
Hand in.
His awareness around the ruck is superb. He shapes the pass, but he cuts through, and he's just playing around that ruck, and he's gaining some really good, clever metres.
Well, that's what you need. Niggly sort of characters, often the hookers.
Sorry, guys, here we are.
Fancy their chances. Good with the offload, the dummy. They also need some decent pace out of the blocks as well. So Newcastle on the 30-metre line. 20 metres in from the western touchline here. This is a big Vic will pull it out.
Release 2. Go 2.
Starling. Jack Johns.
Release him 8. And square, guys. Go 3. The 8.
Just inside the 10 metres as Starling tries to weave his magic, and he bamboozles the Warriors, leaves him in his dust and claims 4 points.
Well, didn't that look so easy for Starling again? He's just playing with the Warriors around that ruck, making it look so easy. He shapes to go left. He went to the right and just carved himself around the players and went through. He really has been instrumental. The other highlight here, looking for a pass. Defensive of the Warriors were worried about players that he was going to pass to instead of Starling. Look at this, a terrible tackle there from one of the Warriors players. But he's having a field day.
You're being very polite too. I'll join your politeness and won't identify the poor defence. Although what we are witnessing here is that focus is an issue. Tries being scored after 5 minutes, so you know, the teams, both teams, need to just sharpen that focus and maintain the commitment for longer periods on their defensive work. So, looking for the extras. Conor Gudgeon, this should be pretty straightforward for him. 14-6 at the moment. Coming up towards 26 minutes of play here in round one from the NYC here in Mount Smart. And speaking of smart, he's a smart act, is Ricky Henry. Also Jerome, a couple of smart guys at Mount Smart.
Well, it's an area of the game of the Warriors. Look at the players on the ground. Their markers are just average at the moment. They really need to sharpen up around that ruck area. Name B defenders particularly. A bit more work around there. Tighten it up. That should be a start. Oh, and that's not a great way to start.
Well, these are fundamental errors, aren't they? And you know, they can serve as a reminder to those who commit the errors of how important it is to, again, you know, just be aware of where that ball's going, to sharpen your focus when you kick off. It should never be kicked out on the full. We got a bit lucky last start, trying the same routine, but this time, one bridge too far. So Newcastle immediately find themselves in good attacking position here. 35 metres out from the Warriors line and looking to ram home the advantage. Already 3 tries.
Hands away!
Trying to make something out of that mistake. Danger time for the Warriors here.
Hands away!
Lost it, mate. Lost it.
In the end, the responsibility is on the player to hold on to the ball as Solo gets up, looking for some support from the referees. It wasn't forthcoming.
Just see with the fatigue for the Warriors, their wrestle on the ground's not that great. They just need to improve that area. Work them over on the ground, slow it up a bit because they're finding a bit of space to play football.
Heads in nice and
When
tight.
fatigue
Stay
sets
there,
in.
Newcastle.
Okay, hold, guys. Hold.
Sami Solo.
Wait, wait. It's come out the side. Ball's come back out the same way with the Fed. Has to come out between the second rows. Hooker, arms up
Interestingly,
over the top.
the back rower for the Warriors, this is Swani Hufanga, has strong connections into the Solomona family. So Saulo and Malo, his rallies.
Move now!
Off the arm!
Hold. Go, whoa.
Edward Vaumulitalo, this young flyer on the right wing, has a bit of a touch as the Warriors get hold of the ball. Just short of the halfway now as Seo looks for some more enthusiastic work. This time Hufanga as well. I can provide a bit of that. Put a bit of sting into the tail as Kinesia lines up and winds up. 32 metres out from the try line now. Seo goes to the left. Harris Davida showing his clever skills once again. It's back to Kinesia. And coming across on him, Henry Penn. Henry Penn, ex-Mangere East, Warriors development as well with the Knights. As Davida Harris threads the needle, Newcastle respond well. Hold their own. They have the football now just outside their line.
Yeah, Harris Davida, that's a nice play. He squares up and he's got such a great left foot step. He's a tall lad too, so he's got the ability to get through that advantage line, but his stepping is first class. I like the way he squares up a bit more and plays at the line. We know he's got a pretty good pass from right to left, but I'd like to see him run a bit often. He really does. There's a real threat in the left edge.
Newcastle have had the ball 60% or thereabouts of the time too. The scoreline reflects that. It's 16-6. Just over 10 minutes to play in the first half. Back it comes for Vail Mulitalo. He pushes it back to Talair, who centres it up. A charging run finds Pulavia. He's solid on D and puts him away centre field in 35. Finianganofo now. He picks up
Go two.
6 or 7 extra metres. Close quarter running at the moment. Susamia's not getting enough ball on the far side. Decides to come on in and hit up on his forward's behalf and earns himself a penalty as well. So here's a good opportunity for the Warriors surfacing now.
Well, 2016, we saw him get involved a lot around that ruck area, just with his sheer pace, his ability to get on the front foot, just with his footwork. He's brilliant. Junior Ponga was the other player that was similar in the way they were able to get out of trouble at ease. He needs to get more involved. He needs to see some ball on that left edge.
Well, all across the country, teams are starting to be moulded together. Musters at our suburban clubs and mums and dads, of course, it's a great game. Always looking for young players. The Referees Association likewise, so whichever part of New Zealand you're growing up in, there's always a league team, a rugby league team close at hand. Now's the time to be making inroads to those clubs as we see Kinesia now. 12 metres out from the try line. The Warriors winding up through Ackland, peeling away, numbers on the far side, and Chanel Harris to Vita. Some skillful flick on, but just fractionally forward and pulled back by the referee.
Yeah, I'm not a great fan of the old block play, but playing at the line, playing short, tip-ons is more the style. And the outside defensive structure, they really do rush up. So it's always good to play through the line. I'd like to see more of that from the Warriors. You know you've got players who can actually dent the line anyway, so I'm surprised that they go to the back door often.
No dummy half run so far from Chris Seal, which is somewhat surprising. 32 minutes gone. His opponent, Starling, who's really giving us a masterclass in hooker play. He's darted out 4 times. Just looking at some of the stats, still the missed tackles, the biggest enemy here for the Warriors. 17 missed tackles, 8 for the visitors from Newcastle at the moment.
Together now!
16-6. 8.5 minutes to play here in the first half, and it's Newcastle who have the ball on the far side of the field. Starling. Skillful chain passing here, and now a great run down the left edge. How good is this guy? It's Brendan Musgrove. He goes on inside to Lockery as well, and the young halfback is in to score. Well, hats off to Newcastle. A long-range try, but full of class.
Well, it's a great try. Again, their ability to move that ball and expose the Warriors on the edges is fantastic. It just looks too easy, and defensively, they've just got to move. They've just got to push from the middle and get on the outside. The decision-making is not great. But look at this. The shape's great. You can see the defence of the Warriors just all over the place. But look at this, just sheer pace on the outside. And look at the supporters on the inside in numbers. And again, 3 or 4 players coming through. And Lockery just comes through and collects that ball and says, thank you very much. Great speed. Defence of the Warriors, they've got a lot to improve on.
Well, they clustered, didn't they? You could throw a T-tail across the top of them at that stage. It's a couple of times they've been exposed out wide as well, so Newcastle full of confidence. This is a grouse run, wasn't it, from Braden Musgrove. And then inside here to Lockery. He and Jack Johns, well, they paired up in the build-up to the season, and so there was no real choosing necessary. Todd Lowry was saying prior to the game. They virtually chose themselves, but as you mentioned, the runners on the inside, there were plenty of options as well. So Newcastle really playing a fine brand at the moment. There's no problem with the conversion. Scoreline starting to look a bit problematic now as we approach the halfway. 22-6. And well, in Newcastle, happy as sand boys.
Working.
Tommy, guys.
So Talia puts a bit of hang time on this one. Here's the man who got around the outside, Musgrove. He's wrapped up by Ackland. The Warriors need possession, and they need it in good field position at the moment. Conceded 22 points already in the first half. And we look to have an injury here, and an ankle injury by the looks of things, Rich.
Certainly does. Dylan Tavita coming over this play. He is in bad shape, isn't he? Number 11, Henry Penn. But it was the tackle from Tavita who came over the top and really worked them over, and his legs were tied up from a player from low. 6 minutes to go, Dale.
As mentioned, Henry Penn too has New Zealand connections. One of many in the competition. We see the work here. It's all upstairs work, so it's an ankle injury that we're waiting on at the moment. It's Warriors development. Henry, would have things aren't moving fast enough for them, sometimes the young men and their families say, well, let's get overseas and see if we can carve out an opportunity. It's a disappointing start to his NYC year for Henry Penn. Let's have a look at some of the stats here, and missed tackles, of course, is one that we are noting. Possession still 60% favour of Newcastle, and in their own half 53% of the time as well. 22-6. This is the first of a triple header from Mount Smart Stadium. Henry Penn getting assisted from the field.
Yeah, I think it's the ability to transition into attack. I really like the fact that they've converted opportunities into points. I know that the defence of the Warriors have been a little bit off, but there's a lot of energy about this Newcastle side, and they're exploiting them. They have good shape, and it's a good start to the season for the Newcastle. That, particularly with Penn going off, it's not going to help. There's certainly a lot of enthusiasm in the side. Todd Lara would be pretty happy with the attitude towards the defence. He mentioned that prior to it. I'm sure he'll be happy with the attack.
Eddie Tuirotalava makes his way onto the field in jersey number 15 for Newcastle. Bringing up the metres is Starling again. I like the way he plays. Punches above his weight. The young hooker, 5 short of the halfway. Newcastle know that there are opportunities around the outside if they can get the ball wide, pull it fair. With a bullocking run through the middle. He's on the 40-metre line. Starling again, and turnover here. I don't know that he was aware of the count. He apologises to his teammates, the hooker. Dylan Tavita working the acting half role. For the Warriors, 5 to play till half-time. A great boost to them if they're able to get another try in. So Kinesi was solid close to the line as Taylor Poiler takes the football forward. A new name here in the 20s for Grant Pocklington. And it comes to Ackland with a drop-off on the inside for Mamea. Working hard on defence at the moment. Starling leads the tackle count for the Newcastle squad. He's got 14.
16, no more.
25 in centre field. Tavita. Paris Tavita. Lovely little offload as well at close quarters. And then the ball is lost.
0. Hold the 10, mate. Release him now. 0. Hold again. Hold again.
Look at the pushing and shoving in the background, but nothing too untoward.
Okay, I'm coming.
Doesn't need rate of mention.
Move now.
Newcastle will be happy to just settle it down. Play themselves out to the halfway hooter.
Let's get them given space here.
Protect their lead.
Hands out.
And a good lead established as well.
Go. 3.
Inside.
That is short. Short.
Looking for the 40-20. Just 3 metres out from that success. And everyone's just meandering to the scrum position now. And there's Jordan Pinnock. It was good, 11 tackles, 6 hit-ups while he was on.
Just a step, please, 15. Keep listening to the calls in the rocks, mate, okay?
Well, the debutant Harvey Tupounier looks very much like Ali Lautiti. Apparently,
Hold there, mate.
he's got some skills about him too.
It's yours, mate.
Yep.
Well, he's a tall man who can pop passes when he's just trying to hit in the ground. So we'll keep an eye out for him. This is a bit of roll on here from the Warriors. They need to just continue the momentum. A bit of stylish running directly and hard off the play of the ball. So Ackland works it wide. This is Jerome Mamea.
No more 3-7. Tackle 3, go.
Poada steadying the run now. And 20 metres from the try line. A good chance starting to emerge here for Tavita. Onto Kinesi. Wide for Harris Tavita. The change of the angle on the inside. Picks up Joey Vuna. Second year with the NYC squad for Vuna. They'll chance their hands down the left-hand side and then thread the needle into the end goal. Newcastle will be forced to go underneath the crossbar for the dropout. And a good set for the Warriors with 2 to play in the first half.
A much better set. Playing at the line. Options on the inside. Changing the angle. And then Tavita is able to slice the ball through because he's on the front foot. They're playing it on the advantage line.
Stay behind.
And this will build pressure. It'll be nice to see the Warriors come up with a try. Only a minute and a half to go.
So it's Kinesi. Well, I'll charge first up and get us into good field position. That's exactly how it ends up too. He'll play the football quickly. Taken by Tavita. Forward he goes. A darting run. Looking for some support. Wasn't going to pass it. He's to ground. 3 metres out from the try line. Big chance here for the Warriors. There's a penalty. I want the 6, not the 2. 1 minute and 16 to play here. Tap and go for Puada.
Held. No more, Tom. Go one.
So Tavita to Ackland. Mamia. Finanganofo now for the line. Malino. He too can't get there. Pulled down within sight of the chalk.
Go 2.
Step for Ackland. Pressure on. Good D Newcastle. Keeping their composure, the defenders at the moment. The Warriors struggling to find a way through. This time it's Shane Hannum.
Held. Release there for Squire.
Half a minute to play here in the first half. The Warriors desperate to get another try on the board. As Harris Tavita tries to slice them open, he's pulled down on the last tackle.
Wait. Go last.
Tavita for Ackland. Crossfield kick now. Looking for Finanganofo. He'll climb, and it's been tapped, but it will end up in favour of Newcastle. The Warriors look as though they'll be going to the sheds. Down by plenty. 22-6 with the hooter just around the bend.
Wasn't the best set, was it? The structure was awful, really, for the Warriors. They didn't know what they were doing or how they were structured, but that's the half gone. A lot of work for the Warriors to do.
Well, it's 3 tries to 1, and the Novocastrians are turning on the magic here in round 1 of the NYC from Mount Smart. Half-time here, it's 22 to the Knights, 6 to the Warriors. It's great to have rugby league back at Mount Smart Stadium, and of course plenty of room here if you'd like to come down and enjoy the hit out. The Warriors against Newcastle. We're underway with the second half of NYC action from round 1. Newcastle playing from our broadcasting area left to right now, and their distinctive blue and white strip. It has changed over the years.
That's great.
Great little start, and in the background you might hear Richie Barnett just applauding the efforts here by the Novocastrians, although he might have put the mocker on them, Rich.
Well, it was just good football. It was just enterprising football. And you Sam McIntyre running onto the ball with a nice little short ball, playing football. They're not going to settle for a 22-6. They're going to actually play football, and this is what I like about this side at the moment. Look at this little short ball. Hannon coming through, really trying to get this South through the defensive line and offload. In bad shape, but I like the enterprise. I like the style.
And it needs to be counteracted too by the Warriors, who lacked some creativity in that first 40. Will be wanting to do better with the football in hand. And as we know, they're very, very capable through the middle, but they just have to set themselves up a little bit better. At the moment, scrambling through their sets as we see a little darting run from Dylan Tavita. He's pulled down. Great opportunity, though, for the Warriors to score early in the second half, and that's what their coach would have hoped for.
Well, this is about the 3rd or 4th penalty on the line. I think this is probably a stage where the referee needs to send them off. It's slowing the play of the ball down considerably, particularly when the Warriors are on hand to make something of the set piece.
So Harris Tavita, for a moment, thought he was shaping to kick. Not at all. Taylor Puada gets hold of the football now. The young replacement's only 5 metres from the try line. Here's a good chance. And that ball, had it have gone to hand, would have been successful for Hannum, but it didn't. And now Newcastle have the ball 10 metres away from their line.
Yeah, not executed that well for the Warriors. They really need to convert opportunities.
Here we are, hold. Go.
Communication is one of those keys, isn't it?
And now trying to make some headway through the middle. They've been terrific when they've worked wide as well in Newcastle. 2 fine tries. Cooper came through once. We saw Coker Smith down the right edge. Then that last try, which was scored by Lockery, but set up out wide by Musgrove.
Sam McIntyre's down. He's been fantastic on that right edge. And again, they've just ignited straight into the attack, haven't they, Newcastle Knights? Straight into a spread on spread, and they're playing football. I love the style.
He's a genuine giant, isn't he? Big Pulivea, Vico. Now that's an offload. Stay alive. Onto Johns. Ball hot, and look at that. Could have been dangerous, but the tackle from Matt Faitator was solid as. Not play that too, so the Warriors will get the scrum feed here.
It's one heck of a tackle, wasn't it, for Faitator? Look at this, right in the breadbasket. Boom. Beautiful tackle.
Line here, please, guys. Line here.
Credit to the Newcastle runner who held on to the football. Warriors will get the ball now, 20 metres in, or 10 in fact, and 22 metres out from their own line. There's the hit man, Faitator.
Go together. Straight up this time.
To the 30, put on his back though, so unable to get away to the super quick play the ball. Somia again forced to come in. He's just not getting any pill wide. Loses himself in his defeater. Peels back a few metres successfully before he's taken in the tackle as well. But Curtis Dark in jersey number 14, that's him on and tackling downstairs at the moment. 30 metres from the try line.
Go 4.
Kia ora from New Zealand to all of our viewers in Sydney. I know it's been a bit of a rainy weekend across in that beautiful city. You see Aidan Ackland gets a kick. Bit of an apology too from his chasing opponent. And caused momentarily a show of good sportsmanship. Unnecessary though, as Ackland gets to his feet. Not a lot of coordination and cohesion on display at the moment in the Warriors' attack.
No, they haven't had the ability to... They haven't bent the Newcastle line back much in this game, but they've got to find a way to do it. Newcastle just punching through that middle. It's been pretty direct, but they've able to either through the middle, or then their shape is fantastic too. So the Warriors can't ill afford to be condensed enough because their shape is so good.
Just to chip over the top, some pressure on Kane Talia. He's equal to the challenge this time, takes the ball just outside his 10 metres. And the Warriors forwards very slow to retreat. And they're being out enthused here at the moment by Newcastle. And they'll need somebody to just light the fire at the moment. The fire is not burning brightly for the Warriors as Somia gets hold of the football and takes it to the 40.
Just see the Newcastle Knights, their ability to wrestle, slowing that, play the ball down a fraction of a second. It's just enough to have them in control of this match.
Finneanganofo plays the ball onto Ackland. Now he's put up a midfield bomb. Where are the chasers from the Warriors? Allowing an unencumbered run for the Newcastle defender. He climbs high, Matt Cooper, and gets hold of the football on his teammates' behalf. The Warriors into defensive mode. But for the centre third of the field, Sammy McIntyre now. McIntyre's had a good game. Starling's still the hardest working defender. The 10 hit up, she's looking good, and so is Johns as gets hold of the ball and goes in under the posts. Jack Johns has ended a score for Newcastle.
It revolves around the number 9 again, isn't it? Tom Starling just piercing through the defence of the Warriors. And it's lovely to watch. And on the end of that, it's Johns who comes through and support. They've really done a great job in terms of supporting the players. Look at this, left, right, poor defence and inside. Good shape on the inside. But it was the money ball to this young kid, Johns. They're just making it look too easy. Defence is just woeful from the Warriors. They really need to aim up.
Well, sterling play from Starling, you'd have to say. He was awesome through the middle there, but he's got a nice little jink, hasn't he? He's only a slightly built character. can slide underneath the tackles if they're heading high. But good footwork. And, of course, he turned on his right, sensed the runner there, and it was, of course, Jack Johns. No problem with the extras as well. So this is a bit of a walloping at the moment.
22 points, your home ground, and you know, Coach Pocklington mentioned that they want to make this a fortress. And they're not looking like they are, but certainly we've got to give credit to the opposition, Newcastle. They've exploited a lot of areas, the weaknesses in the Warriors at the moment, particularly around that ruck area we mentioned before, how important that is to slow the play of the ball down. But that hasn't been a focus in the second half by the looks of it.
Well, 27 missed tackles, you're always going to make life difficult for yourself, and that's a very difficult ball to try and pull in. Newcastle get slightly embarrassed as well. Dean Coker-Smith was looking at it, hoping that it would bounce back to him, but it didn't. Look at this. Oh, the frustrations of the oval ball game. Sometimes you just cannot read it. He's the man of the moment. Starling. He has been the star too so far today. Sosomea gets hold of the football. Now, the Warriors. What can they deliver as Harris Tavita gets into dummy half, perhaps wanting to get his hands on the ball a little bit more. He is quite creative, Chanel. Dummy half work now for Dylan Tavita. He'll show it out to Ackland now. So the big unit gets up to play the football. Jerome Mamere we're talking about, and now it's Jordan Pinnock. He barrels into the post. Pinnock.
I've called it short to tackle 4 there, no. I've already called a tackle 4. Hold.
Warriors big chance and need to score and need to do it very quickly. 28-6. Harris Tavita now on the straight and run here for Joe Vuna. Cut down, good defence too from Newcastle. Pushed along, Harris Tavita threads the needle but pushes it too quick. And it's over the dead ball line, not sure if it was the best option.
Well, it's just one of those days, I think, for the Warriors. Pinnock comes through, a nice carry too. He was so, oh, there you go, I thought that was a try.
Well, the referee said I'd called it short, made the decision earlier, and so Pinnock had to back up, but he looks as though he's got the goods, and he should be the go-to man at the moment. The Warriors can't get the ball to him in decent enough position, and as a result, they're made to pay here as Newcastle come a-calling again. It's Johns, now to Cooper. In fact, McIntyre. Here's the troublesome Starling, troublesome from a Warriors perspective. If you're watching in Newcastle, you'll be enjoying his work very much. Tom Starling is having an outstanding game. 23 tackles, 12 hit-ups for the young rake. Hayden Lockery keeping the ball alive too, and it's on to Dark, and they pop it to Cooper. A little bit of hot stepping. Numbers down the left-hand side for Newcastle. Can't quite release the football. To ground 16 metres from the try line. Warriors still in a bit of trouble. This is Johns. He too looks to thread the needle, and it's the big number 17.
Here's 10. Go on, I've got it here.
He's onto the football, and now the Warriors.
Hands away.
15, 3 up. 3's working, mate.
Number 7, I think it's Elijah Sufia
Come round the side and worked him.
for the Warriors. Good desperate measures there to get onto the ball. Gives them in a good position now for the Warriors to start to their attack.
Here we are, boys.
Kicking to the eastern touchline. That'll be full later this afternoon. Of course, the ISP coming up.
Go.
Andrew's got that call coming your way soon after the conclusion of NYC.
Okay, Tom.
Glenn Darrell will be calling the action of the big game too, due for a 4 o'clock kickoff here this afternoon. There's Pinnock again with another charging run. Hard to miss. And a strong calling card at the moment for Jordan Pinnock. Ackland needing some support. Joe Vuna looks to offer some of that. Tavita at dummy half. Out to Hannon. Young player with Fox Memorial experience with the Glenora club from West Auckland. Ackland again holds the pass up nicely, but then the ball has gone to ground, and Newcastle are away, and now showing some pace. Newcastle across the top comes Harris to Vita. A solid hit. Blind shotting the runner who looked threatening. Harris Cooper, he's got wheels, speed to burn, and he's still going. To ground. Midway, 30-40, Warriors end of the ground. Can't turn a trick at the moment, the home team. And this man, well, rubbing salt into the wounds at every available opportunity is Starling. 22 metres out from the try line for Starling. Cut out ball, Johns, McIntyre. Plenty of skill here on show today for Newcastle. A lot to enjoy about the way that they're playing their football as Colonel Gudgeon. And loses control.
So we'll go with scrum. Lost ball, tackle was called, scrum.
Yeah, extra tackles under the belt of the Warriors. Fatigue set in. Nothing is going right. Whinianganofo dropping that ball, and straight away they ignite into attack. Great tackle there from Chanel coming across. I think he was getting a bit frustrated, I think, with this game. He comes up with, as we know, he's come up with some brilliant tackles in 2016. And that was a ripper.
Well, the Warriors have got 20 extra missed tackles, 11 for the Novocastrians. The Warriors, a whopping 31 missed tackles. And there lies the story. That is reflected on the scoreboard. 28-6. 13 gone. In fact, more like 14 into the second half.
Move 18! Hold.
This is certainly a part of the game when things are not going so right.
Guys, hold.
It's one of those stats that you don't write down, but it's the character they're looking for. You know, you can put this game behind you, but you can certainly make a difference by staying in this game.
Well, stranger things have happened. You can mount up some tries quickly if momentum is your friend, and at the moment, the Warriors are just trying to build a little bit of that.
Hold. Get strong, get strong.
32 metres out.
You're offside in the road.
I think it was Starling. He says, well, where's I supposed to go?
Not there.
He's offside in the road.
D now, let's go! Go, Dino.
Hands out, 12.
Now 17.
Right in the mix. Fly in the ointment.
Yeah, hit him in the head there.
There's Pinnock.
Hands out, 16.
I'm liking them. I want to see a bit more from the big
Oh,
guy.
it's absolutely outstanding. It's what you have at the end of that that's more important, because he's come up with a couple of great runs. It's just what's on the end of it, the next play.
Here's Mamia. Tavita does the spin for the line. I think he's done enough as well. He has called in Dylan Tavita. The spinning effort from dummy half gets a very crucial 4 points. Perhaps this might be the start of the momentum that the Warriors have lacked. And now they'll get at least onto the scoreboard, and the conversion from close range should be successful. We'll be looking at a 16-point split.
Yeah, some really good carries. Pinnock was certainly one of those players. Mamia looks very strong, good carries. And Dylan just coming through, rolling over the player, scoring a pretty simple try. But it's this try that I think that the Warriors certainly need. They can capitalise on this, but it's really Pinnock. He's come up with some really good carries, and the more he gets his hand on the ball, the more dangerous this Warriors is going to be.
That's the feeling. It should be, unloading to him a couple of times in the set. Certainly through the middle, he's making good inroads, and he's starting to get some support. But, you know, it's a rear guard action here from the Warriors, isn't it? They certainly haven't dominated. In fact, they've been struggling as Newcastle. Well, they've come to play, and as Coach Todd Lowry said, for many of them, it's their first time travelling. And as they like to say, you know, a lot of these lads are from the bush.
A passport? What's that called? What?
A lot of them, you know, probably haven't
Well, it's amazing,
had
isn't
the
it?
chance to get across the NZ, so a big trip for them.
You forget as a youngster, you know, 16, 17, I don't think I left the country when I was 21, so it's a big occasion.
You started your career as a gun touch player back with the Dusties, didn't you, when we stepped back, and then that's a miss.
Yeah, back in the old day, yeah, a lot of league and rugby players were it. Dusties certainly were the team back then. I don't think we ever lost a comp actually, the ones that we were in. Whakatane was obviously the big one. That was a great try, as we've seen before. Back to the real action.
Well, what up with the kicking?
Well, let's see if there's a bit more enthusiasm in the side. I'm sure this will spark and ignite a bit more of attack here from the Warriors. Pinnock is lining up for his next run, I'm sure.
Hasn't exactly come from the fence, not from where Sam Lasoni likes to run them from. Suaya Matangi, some of those characters. Pinnock off a pretty short run, but still very, very effective.
It's a good carry from Hufanga. He's had some brilliant takes. Charging up, carrying the players 10 to 15 metres. And that's a good platform.
So Puada, the big man, starting to really have an influence here, certainly through the middle. And it comes to Harris DeVita. Now he chips over the top, wants to just sit it into the end goal, but again, too heavy.
Out to the 20. It's yours, mate. Yeah.
Takes a well-rehearsed hand to get it right each time. You look at the masters of that, your Thurstons and your Cronks. They spend endless hours just refining that ability to have the ball sit up in the end goal. Speaking of which, what a fantastic game of football it was too. In Townsville last night, going into extra time too with the Cowboys and Canberra battling it out. I think it was 16-all, and then the most uncanny conclusion to a game. Here's Johns. Oh, how good's Johns? And the inside ball, sadly for Newcastle, goes to ground. The Warriors will set it from 30 out. Just briefly back to the conclusion, a golden point victory for the Cowboys. But it was from a drop goal that I've never seen happen before. Hit the bottom of the crossbar and then sits up in goal. And, a try scored for the victory for the home team. But there you go. Jonathan Thurston, we thought it was going over the crossbar for a victory. It didn't. It's below. And then his teammates come across and snaffled it for a wonderful victory after the hooter and into extra time. The footy is back, and it's back on Sky Sport as well here in NZ. Fox across the ditch. And what a season of footy we've got ahead. What an afternoon of rugby league we've got here at home.
Tackle 5!
Okay, Tom.
Tackle number 5 here for the Warriors. They've done all the hard work. What's on the end of the set for them? Here is Ackland. He finds Harris DeVita. They'll try the little kick as well. Needs a climb. No one contested. Crazy football. Lack of communication wide. And So'osomia, who really should have climbed for the football, left it to his opponent. Well, again, an unchecked run to the 40.
Well, that's a number of times I've seen that the ball hasn't been contested. So'osomia is normally up and contesting the ball at will, but that's certainly an area of the game they need to sort out. They're making the kick look average, and the kicks have been okay. It's the chase that makes the difference.
15 up.
He might have a bad injury. No, the young fella's got up and he's moving again.
Release him 10.
Straight up. Hands out. Give him the room. Play the ball.
It might be dislocated finger perhaps in the background. We'll stay with the play.
You're moving forward. Bring him back a step. Bring him back a step. Take a step.
10.
It's nothing like seeing someone trying to yank that back in.
Let's to see our British referee out here, Timmy Roby. There's the cutout ball. Some pressure off for Newcastle and applying the pressure, I should say, to the Warriors.
Line, guys.
Filling out an awful on the far side of the field, number 3 for the Warriors. He's crook and really shouldn't be out there as we follow the football at Newcastle. This would be a real nail in the coffin too if they're able to get the Warriors here. There's a problem on the far side, a hold-up turnover, in fact.
The old cramps come into play at your first game of the season.
Be a bit of that too, no doubt.
All yours, mate.
Former Kiwi captain Richie Barnett in the commentary position today, and for the yourself for the NYC.
That's the sort of we've seen in 2016, Dale. Some really effective running from dummy half. Kane Talia takes the second. 2 really good runs.
Newcastle, hold! Hold!
Well, somebody needs to step up, don't they? Because they're plodding at the moment, the Warriors, and they need to just create some spark.
He's outside.
The kick for the far side, and whilst that's successful, I don't think that they're going to get home with checking to the sides.
Stay to ref for another couple.
Let's just look back on the game and catch up on some of the stats. Of course, in that first half, tries to Cooper and Smith, Starling, Lockery. Pretty impressive first half. Just the one try to Kinesi, and it was close range. It was on the 20-minute mark, a 22-6 scoreline at the break. One back for the Warriors, of course, and one for Johns also, 6 minutes into the resumption of play.
Box in, please, and ball in.
Surprisingly missing the kick too.
And yours.
Kane Talia, 28-10. Newcastle with the football, 15 from their own line.
This is where the Warriors need to aim up. You've seen them exposed through that middle third, and they've recognised that too. Newcastle Knights playing away and then coming back with an inside pass. And pushing up in numbers too. You can see Lockery there pushing up in numbers just in case.
Hand off the ball.
Certainly winning that battle, aren't they?
He's our so far player of the day, I suppose you'd have to say, is Tommy Starling. He's been outstanding, both as a defender and on attack as well. 33 tackles for the young rake. And look at this swerving run. Beautiful football. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's top draw.
Yep, good, mate.
Hats off there. Lockery's in to score, but what a run. He absolutely twisted and turned, and nobody knew where he was going. And what a run from the Novocastrian.
Well, the spine have been the difference. They've been superb. They haven't played together. But crikey, the off-season, they look like they've prepared them extremely well. And again, the offloading's easy. Defence, the hit and stick's not great. And look at this, Lockery just making a meal of it. If it's not Lockery, it's Starling.
He's been good, hasn't he? Well, we knew that they were a tight combo, and they didn't want to talk too much about these young halves either. Suffice to say that they thought that they were a good pairing and that they chose themselves, but didn't want to wrap them too much because expectations get high. But gee, we're seeing a young man with plenty of ability, and that on a crook ankle. Mount Smart Stadium, of course, work done on the venue across the summer. Conroy Gudgeon, one of the more experienced players here for Todd Lowry. He's quite slight of build now. I guess when your football career finishes, you stop doing the weights and, you know, the focus on fitness, then you return to something a bit more normal.
High metabolism. I think that's what everyone was wanting. That's what they desperately want. But I think he's doing a lot of running. I believe so. He looks in great shape.
No.
And that one is away. For Newcastle, 32-10. I wouldn't have picked this one at the start of the game. Not at all.
First start of the season here at Mount Smart. No, and plus, like we mentioned before, it's new combinations, but they have been very effective. They've just been lightning through that middle, and just the energy and the effort amongst the side has been superb. And yeah, not the start that the Warriors would want, clearly, with Pocklington's first season, so I'm sure they'll come back.
That's a bit of a wake-up call. The young players who thought they'd climbed the mountain realise it's just the foothills. And now they've got the real work to do, which is to maintain consistency. Even if you're in a losing team, showing the character that future coaches might require.
And square.
Some more cramp on the far side of the field too, and
13 hand out.
red-booted Warrior down on the far side. And that leaves a bit of a gap for Newcastle, and they'll look to profit here. The pass is good. Cooper gets hold of it this time. Wide they go, and Newcastle, well, it's a roller coaster. And the ride is all the way to Newcastle, I can tell you. They are looking excellent here. I recall when Newcastle were a really hot ticket. And maybe that's the case here for 2017.
They are in great shape, and the Warriors are making them look extremely good. Look at this, just a pass wide, Musgrove coming through. Look at this, it looked too easy to... And of course, the fullback, Matt Cooper there, They're just in 6s and 7s. They're just making this look so easy. And here we go. We stand up in a tackle, through, offloading, and then coming back with a lot of support play. Musgrove scores that try. What a talent he is.
Well, we saw him with that brilliant effort that got Lockery through initially. This player was down. Is it Whittingham? I'm thinking. But he had some issues only a few moments ago. And that, of course, shortened up the defensive line. The Newcastle boys recognised that and think if we can get it wide, we'll have the numbers. And they certainly did. And Musgrove proving once again that he is a class act. I really enjoyed his work in the lead up to Lockery's try, 5 out from the half-time break. That was brilliant. But they've really had the Warriors measure out wide, both sides of the field.
Yeah, in all ways, I think, in this game, they've really nailed it. Their possession has really been the favour in the first half. It was 60-40, I think it was. Maintained that throughout this whole game. But it's the ability to convert tries. I think their ruck defence, the Warriors on the edge, and particularly in that ruck, it really exposed and changed the whole game. And that's where the game was, and won and lost there. But it was the pivotal players that have really made the difference. As we mentioned before, Jack Johns and Lockery, but it was Tom Starling that really ignited this whole side. And it's a great performance all round. Some real players making a difference. Their back rower, Sam McIntyre and Hoskins, a lot of experience.
You're still looking for effort. The Warriors, Ryan Pocklington is still looking for attitude. But 23 is in, Harvey Tupouniua. He's one of these big men that we were warned to look out for. But of course, coming into a game now when it's pretty much gone, part of round one for any team too is to pass a message on to the other opponents, not just the ones they're fronting at here in Auckland, but they're hoping to send a message across the Tasman to the other team saying, hey, we're here, we're ready, look out. And this sort of scoreline certainly doesn't say that.
We don't want to get the tag when fatigue sets in. You haven't got the ability to stay in the game a long period. So
another go. Down the side comes the flying number 22 and inside for Cooper. Well, they are ripping the Warriors to shreds at the moment.
Well, Team Kuka Smith again on that right edge, but it's the ability to back up in the middle, pushing through. That is just exposing the Warriors, and they cannot find answers to it. They are just going for it, playing on the edge. Lovely pass for Kuka Smith inside to Lockery, but it was, to Matt Cooper. But look at this, the ability to play football straight through the middle. Nice little pass, the winger, indecision there. But look at this pass. It's a fine pass through to Matt Cooper, who has been in great form. He scored 6 tries back in Harold Matthews back in 2014, so he knows how to score points.
Right here, mate.
Kuka Smith, West Auckland connections. In fact, Newcastle's been the go-to club for many young Kiwis. I think stretching back to Sam and Kempe and that. We've had a long association with Newcastle, our young men. And what an effort it's been by them. They've been ripping it up. 42-10. Holy heck, if I had a hat, I'd eat it. I never thought that this would be the scoreline today, but hey, that's what you get. If you've got a team who's really enthusiastic, and they certainly out-enthused their opponents today, the Newcastle boys. And there we see another look. I like the pass too, flat, quick. Matty Cooper. Great run. He's been awesome today, the fullback.
He has been.
Make sure your time is still, guys.
And another big task. They've got Melbourne next week here on Friday. So it doesn't get any easier. It means they get, and again, it's out in the full, but you know, nothing's going right today. But they can turn it around. It's a quick turnaround. The fact that they've got a home game against Melbourne next week is probably a positive. Defence is the key.
Well, they're being caned. And Kane Talia has kicked the ball dead on the full. Another fundamental error that shouldn't happen, but has today, twice.
Line, boys.
Todd Lowry the second year in control of the NYC team for Newcastle.
Hold 6.
And congratulations to him. He's brought over a savvy bunch of characters. And, they're playing a very entertaining brand. And deserve their lead here. What a lead it is, 32 points. 8 tries to 2. It's been an outstanding effort. And the boys from the Coal City, north of Sydney.
Straight up, Chris. Tackle 2.
Down the right-hand side, and Johns pops the pass. He pops a shot too. Jack Johns. The danger time here for the Warriors again, as we see the spinning youngster gets the offload. Well, I don't know here. The young bloke, I think he could stop the sea. He's set up. He's got the Midas touch at the moment. Hayden Lockery. Super skills from the halfback. The try is credited to Solo, but it was the halfback who set it all up again with his deft footwork and skillful offloading. Let's have another look at his magic.
Well, Hufanga running up, and I thought that was great that he got off the line speed real quick just to get up to stop. The ability of these Newcastle Knights to exploit some cracks in the defence, but it's just brilliant work. The 7, Lockery's just absolutely crucifying the Warriors at the moment. Just good footwork, the agile, just agility of their halves at the moment, and they're dictating terms too. They've just come up with some brilliant plays.
No problem at all for Gudgeon, who adds the extras, and the Warriors 48-10. They've been eaten up here by Newcastle. Cannibalised might be a term. And, well, they can't wait for the curtain to come down. 6 minutes until that occurs, as we build up to the ISP, and of course Ricky Henry and his men will be wanting to make amends here. A pretty ordinary performance from the home team to start off round 1 of the NYC. Standout players who have mentioned Starling. He's been terrific. Other big contributors, 19 tackles for King. Starling has been the outstanding defender, though. 33 tackles, and what a hand he has played here today. Remarkable. You see Butterfield back into the mix. Jaden Butterfield from that famous rugby league family. A couple of metres inside the Warriors' half. Well, they'll be looking for an upside to the performance as well from the Warriors, but not much to be enthused by.
No, Dale. But I guess it's the start of the season. It's not the fashion that you want to start. But Newcastle certainly just been impressive. It's just been great to watch. And they continue that form on, playing ab-lib football. Second phase has been a feature of their game.
And Kane Talia loses the football and his enthusiasm to make some inroads. I respect that, but of course, first and foremost, must hold the pill. As Pinnock comes across the top, not his debut that he perhaps dreamed about for the Warriors. As we see Newcastle not done with yet too. 4.5 to play, penalty. And there's 2 points there on offer if they want to get to 50, but I can't see why that would be of much interest to them here. 9 tries to 2. You get the feeling there's another one in store as well, as Newcastle barrel towards the line.
Release.
This time it's to Lotolava. Out wide, Gudgeon playing at centre.
Straight up. Stay line, guys.
Kainoa Gudgeon, that is. Johns away from one, make that 2, and towards the line he goes.
Hands away, leave that ball.
Well, Matty, you'll be looking on right now, mate, and I guess you'll be very proud of the way that your young fella's gone. In fact, the way his team has gone today.
Go 4. Play on.
Mention his efforts on Monday night, Matty.
Last. Off him now. Hold.
2 metres out from the try line. Lockery. Johns.
Still last.
Skillful passing. This time it's McIntyre. He's been good too. Ball ends up in a Warriors' hand. And a bit of a runaway here at the moment from Matt Faitotoa. Doesn't have the legs, nor the support he needed. Sorsumir is there now. 40 metres out from the try line. The Warriors looking to get on the board. It's been a long time. And the runners on the far side. The ball was touched. And so the Warriors will get the scrum feed here. But it's really just cosmetic anyway.
It is. I thought that Sorsumir with the ball. I just thought there was something going to happen there. The pass went astray. Dylan Tavita gets obviously on the wing, playing through the middle.
Here we are, guys, please.
It is the story of the game, isn't it, Dale?
Let's go, we're waiting on you.
Well,
guys.
the 27 extra missed tackles is probably the story. 47 missed tackles for the Warriors as they conceded 9 tries here this afternoon.
23 offloads for Newcastle.
Great confidence builder for the lads from north of Sydney. They'll be better for the run. For Seal, perhaps missed his experience somewhat through that second half. Pinnock with it, deserves a try.
Short, release him now.
He's short this time. Thought he had scored one. The referee said he'd come up short. It's Harris Tavita, Medea Goosey. Doesn't fool anybody. He's put away too. 8 metres out from the try line. 2 to play. Ackland first receiver. At the back for Talia. Numbers on the far side. And the ball goes down on the right wing. Well, sums up the effort today, really, I guess.
Absolutely. It looked sharp, actually. That was their best opportunity to score a try. And just the pass, the defence coming out of the line, just put enough pressure on the Warriors player. And the pass just went astray from Mamia.
As Vaio Mulitalo was first game for the Warriors. Things will get better, young man. Keep the faith. Hats off to Newcastle, though. They were 10th in the competition last year, and what a great start it's been for them here at Mount Smart Stadium. A team to watch out for and players to keep an eye out on. Tom Starling, one of the best individual efforts you'll witness. Here's Cameron King muscling his way forward as well. The combo between Lockery and Johns, impressive as well. Braden Musgrove also put in some fine work out wide. And a good-looking young fullback in Matt Cooper.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been a starring light here for sure. Been involved. He looks sharp. I like the look of the 16-plus Pasami Soro. New South Wales under-18s rep. It looks like a fair build.
And to their credit, throwing everything at the Warriors' defence right up until the 80th minute as well. John's isolated in the middle, and across the top comes Tuponiua. Didn't get to see a lot of the new introduction, the man newly introduced into this competition. But hey, hats off here. 48-10, what a result. The Newcastle Knights too strong for the Warriors at Mount Smart. Round 1 of the NYC, and they blitzed the Warriors 48-10.